Okay, so for SCI patients, especially for patients who have C6 tetraplegia, these people have um, basically the level of if the functioning level of the patient is C6, they do have control of their upper body or upper extremities. However, they don't have control over their triceps because C6 at the level C6, their triceps are no longer functional. So what's important to note is that they don't necessarily need a sliding board in order to get from the bed to a wheelchair. For example, this office chair is my wheelchair for today as a substitute. So I'll be teaching how a SCI patient, specifically with C6 tetraplegia, can go from supine to long sitting, and then they can transfer onto their wheelchair. Okay, so what we want to start with is in supine position. So let's say the SCI patient wants to get up from the bed like this, and there's no one to help them with it. So what they want to do is they lay their head back, and then they raise their arms up at like a 45-degree angle. They can't hold it over their heads because remember they don't have triceps. So this what it will look like for them if they try to put it all the way up is it will fall on their face. Okay, so I have to hold it at an angle like this, and it's better if their shoulders are externally rotated so that they can substitute the triceps, and also this gives them a little more momentum for what they're about to do. So in order to be in the sideline position, the patient would have to try to get momentum to swing to their side, okay, like this. So now what they want to do is they want to put their arms like so, and then slowly just push themselves up like this, and then what they want to do is with their bicep strength they hold on to their leg here, and then they sort of push, they try to like have, they start to create momentum with their head, and then they pull themselves up using the arm that's latched onto their leg like this. Okay, so since my bed is quite short for me, I have to um I have to move my legs to adjust it. So now that they're here, let's say the SI patient's now in long sitting position. So what they want to do is want to put their leg down like this. Okay. Okay, so an important thing to note for this technique is that the patient's wheelchair has to be as close to them as possible, and their feet have to be together. So to fix that like that, and then again, they can't lift themselves like this because this position requires use of the triceps, and they don't have that. So what they do again is externally rotate their shoulders. They do this, and then they push their scapula down. They push their scapula down using the scapular depressors. They lean forward, and then they slowly rock themselves forward, and then push up into their wheelchair like that. Then they stabilize their wheelchair with the brakes, and they and then usually the wheelchair has their footrests. But since this officer doesn't have footrest, if it did have footrest, they'd have to lift their legs up with with this and like that. Okay, so that's how an SCI patient can go from supine to long sitting and from their bed to their wheelchair. So thank you.